again. It's Rene Bird. I am very excited to introduce another amazing guest for the Who Am I Talk. Her name is Nicky Bentley, and she is the founder of Crown Connective. This company is amazing. It's enabling people, B2B basically. So it's an opportunity for you to connect directly with vendors, directly with manufacturers, with various different business industries. I'm so excited to connect with her. She's amazing. What she's doing is actually really incredible, especially in this season, because what we want to do is basically, ignite our passions. A lot of people in this season have really thought about what it is they want to do, what is their joy, what is their bliss, and more than ever, they've decided to take that plunge. So this lovely lady is going to be giving you some tips about an entrepreneurial mind, giving you the opportunity to learn about what it is about a business. You've got to have a mindset for a business, and you've got to be fearless, and you've got to keep pushing because it's not easy. So I think she's about to join. That's wonderful. So the lovely Nicky Bentley, I love her name. Let's see. Yeah, this is wonderful. So introducing the Queen. Hi. How are you, my darling? How are you?
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It's okay. Listen, technology, I think there's going to be a film for Zooms and things that have happened. I think it's impossible things not to go wrong. But it's so amazing to speak to you finally.
You too. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And how are you doing? I think it's always good to just kind of zone out a bit. How have you been? How's your family in this season? So it's just been off. I feel like I'm on like a movie set and I want to come off of it. It's time. Yeah. How have you been with your family? That's the first thing.
Do you know what? I don't know. I feel like I haven't had any complaints. My family has been doing well. I'm doing well. The pandemic, thankfully, hasn't really impacted me in a negative way. So I just got to give thanks and be thankful for all of the blessings that I have. But everything wise, business, family, life, I've got no complaints. I'm all good.
That's good. And that's a blessing. And we take it for granted just in this season how tough it has been. And when you are able to walk forward and there has not been anything, it is the biggest blessing. There's so much things are happening around us. You see what's going on in the news and the climate, this. So when you start really taking it all in, the most basic and simple things are so precious, aren't they? The fact we've got our family, our health, and then everything else on top. So that's amazing. And yeah, it's an absolute honor to have you on the platform on the Who Am I Talk. I love speaking to women who are doing incredible things. I'm all about women empowerment. Not that I don't love the men, because there's men on my platform that I adore and people in my family, but we've got a lot of hats that we wear. We're mothers, wives, girlfriends, and all of in between. So when we have got businesses, I know there's so much more we're juggling, like the octopuses, trying to make it happen. Yes. So it's always inspiring to have such an incredible lady on my platform. So thank you. So talk to me about first yourself. I know you've got this great business we're going to speak about, but talk about your background. What made you want to create this business? What was the impetus?
So I came from a fashion and business background, degree wise. Yeah. So when you graduate, you have in your head I want to get into just dead fashion, and I did the whole work experience and all of that good stuff, and it was really apparent to me that going down the fashion route just wasn't for me. It's just too cutthroat. And I just kind of decided to get more into the whole business aspect of fashion. So obviously just through work, visual merchandising, fashion buying and stuff like that was when I started to pick up the whole kind of manufacturer, supplier side as well. Then independently as well, I attended a few trade shows, Trade, Pure Vision, and just loads of trade shows, just kind of educate myself. And then I think it was 2017, I decided I wanted to open my own jewelry store. So that was my first go at having my own, and it was good. I think it was a test run to see how the whole process works of running your own business, the whole setting up the website, stock control, where to source stock and stuff like that. And I found that when I was running the business, a lot of my friends around me at that time was also wanting to start businesses or were like in the process of doing it. But the main stumbling block was, where do you find a supplier? How do you know if the supplier is good? You know, it was all of those questions, and it was coming from people who didn't really have that background and that experience of fashion buying and, you know, the education of liaising with suppliers, how to contact them, how to haggle them down, and just all of that information. So whilst I was enjoying my beautiful jewelry store at the time, it was apparent to me that in the long run, I couldn't really see where it was going. So if I had to say about my 5-year plan for that business at that time, I couldn't really see it going to 5 years. So I had to sit down and kind of like rethink, well, what it was I wanted to do and how can I help people as well. Because I think one thing when it comes to business is that a lot of people start businesses with the main core to just make money. But yes, it's about making money, but also in my business, it's about helping people. And that's how I find my joy. And obviously, yes, I'm going to make money, but the main priority for me is to be a service and help people. So I had to sit down and think about how can I be of service to people. And it was really about just sitting down and kind of finding out my interests. So then that was then basically helping me find my purpose. So yeah, I know I love to help people.
Yeah, that's nice.
Me when it comes to the questions of how do I get in contact with suppliers and stuff like that. So I just thought to myself, do you know what? I need to kind of create something that can help, you know, people get in contact with suppliers. So yeah, I started to kind of do my research. I was in the States for a bit, so I kind of was aware of this whole vendor list trend, and I just thought to myself, we don't have that here. And yeah, I just started to do my research, started to purchase some of these vendor lists as well, just to see what they looked like, what I was working with, and what I need to give to my customers. And it just ran from there, really. But the main core of why I started Crown Connective ultimately is literally to help people start their businesses. And with the climate that we're in right now, with so many people, you know, being made redundant, so many people on furlough, it's just... I think it's the time now where you need to realise you cannot depend on one source of income. You cannot depend on your normal 9 to 5. You need to have multiple streams of income coming in. So, yeah.
I love that. I took quite a lot from what you were saying. There's something very powerful about your purpose is a servant, is you're given something. Because sometimes we can get caught up in what we want for ourselves, but not realizing the most powerful things is what you're giving to something else. Yes, there's profit at the end of it, but when you're doing it in that passion and that purposeful way, and something that you're doing to help, it has a different twist to it, and it's got a true depth of meaning, and it's suddenly stepping away, and you're actually able to help and guide others and give them something to hold on to. And then at the end of it, you do get something in return, but that's not what your ultimate goal is. Yes, of course, profit is everything. But ultimately, you came and thought, I've seen this person, I've met that person, I've got all these contacts. Let me open up that book. It's a black book of goodies, isn't it? Let me open up the book. Because one of the things you said again, how long it takes to gather these contacts, how to know who to go to, who's right, who's fraudulent, and what is it a scam? You know, you've got to hand over your money. And you're actually helping them get through all of that and navigate and sieve out the crap and get the real core people, which is actually all the components of a business. Because you spoke about having a jewelry business. People have no idea what it is about when you have a business and what's going on behind the scenes. They just see the jewelry, the website, and the work that you're doing 24 hours on the laptop. They don't ever see that. So you're helping people actually fast track that process. Am I right?
Yeah, it just ultimately saves the business owner time. And I think we really live in a climate where we're moving very fast paced and time is kind of scarce, like days are moving by very quickly. And if we can find, you know, products that can kind of give us some kind of shortcuts per se to help us like jump through the whole going through Google and scrolling through loads and loads of suppliers and, you know, contacting them. Because another thing as well, some people don't really know what questions they need to ask suppliers. They don't really know, you know, the information they need to obtain from the suppliers, because yes, we have vetted the suppliers ourselves, but I always encourage, and it's also in the vendor list that you receive, that you ask the suppliers questions, and I state what questions you should be asking as well. And it just goes back down to educating the people who are purchasing these lists, because, you know, you need to know the minimum quantity that the supplier is offering. You need to know the delivery times. There's so many things that you need to find out before you say, yes, I want that item to be stocked in my stores. It really is just about creating a shortcut for that business owner so they can save time, get straight to the suppliers, get straight to the manufacturers, straight to the wholesalers, and get the ball rolling, and just cut out of that time and that stress of not knowing who's a good supplier, who's not a good supplier, and where do you go for a supplier. Because another thing that I've noticed as well in business is that sometimes you have people around you who are running businesses, and then you ask them, oh, where do you get your suppliers from? Or, you know, who's your wholesaler? And they're very like quiet.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, very quiet about it. And I just want to cut all of that out, because I feel that there's room for everyone to thrive. And it's kind of like each one teach one. If I know something, I'm going to definitely give you the information that you need. And anyone that knows me knows that's the type of person I am. If I know something, I will help you. And this is ultimately what the business is about. It's about helping business owners. So, yeah. Yeah,
I love that. And you're completely correct. How many conversations have I had in my career where you ask a question and you just suddenly hits tumbleweed and nothing happens? And at the end of the day, everyone has, you know, it's a big wild world. We're talking continents and countries, and there's everyone can have a little tiny piece of it. But for some reason, it's just, and it's a sad thing to actually, you know, encounter, because like yourself, you give and you want to help others, and then other people are just like, no words. So you're literally, as I said, opening the black book, giving the opportunity for someone who wants to go through that motion, because a lot of the time, if they can't find the supplier, then it could actually be a stumbling block for them to even move forward. A lot of people will give up on the first hurdle.
Yes.
So you're giving them the opportunity to understand that these people are here, even the language to use, because all of that people might not even have an understanding. It's easy, you get your supplier and then you go, okay, how do I send an email to them to get what I want and get it in detail so it can help me, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what, you know, with Crown Connective, we not only have the vendor list, but we also have an actual book that you can purchase where it is called How to Talk to a Supplier. I give you templates, I give you the information that you need to know, and I just jot down vital questions that you need to be asking these suppliers, because I find from experience when I started my business, there was a few times where I made a few rookie errors where I've purchased products and then it's arrived in the UK and I've still got to pay a fee to get it to me. And it's kind of like, if I can share this information out so that people who are starting their businesses can avoid these extra additional costs, you know, there's so many mistakes that you make when you're starting your business, and it's okay because we all make mistakes. But if I can create something to kind of reduce the amount of mistakes that you're making, or give you some information so that you can try to avoid these mistakes, then that's what I'm going to do, really.
I love it. No, it's amazing. And I had a little snoop, because I'm definitely going to be speaking to you offline, because I've got a few things that I want to do in the new year. And you've literally covering all industries, from retail, packaging.
Do you know what?
It's amazing.
There's some more to come, actually. There's some more to come, but yeah, I've covered a wide scope. And once again, this is where it goes back down to what I'm doing isn't about me, because the categories of vendor lists that are on that website are business niches that aren't my passion ultimately, but I know that I have to create the service to help people who have these business industries, these business niches. So I've done my research, I've bought the products, I've sampled them. So I know the quality, and I know that, you know, statistically, these are the industries that are thriving at the moment. So they have these lists available, but there are some more books coming for different different niches. So yeah,
that's amazing. And like one of the parts that is hard for businesses and people I know who own businesses, as in tangible products, I haven't yet done that more. The service, isn't it, in the music industry and entertainment, is the logistics, is how do I get it from A to B, as you said, without the export fees. And now we're in Brexit. So many people I know have businesses have had to literally say, we're not doing Europe anymore. We can only do the UK. Yeah. We can only do, it's actually easier to send it to the US than it is to try and send it all the rigmarole to go to EU. So you've got those kind of things in your book, but do you walk, because that's like a minefield of knowing who you go, and then do you speak about patents, because that's another conversation again. You got to make sure no one's going to go reproduce what you've just done and spent how many years putting together. There's so many niches about that process. Do you help them with that as well, or?
So what I do in the vendor list, because we have on the website, we have the vendors and then we have the business resource section. So I don't go too much in depth in the vendor list, but what I do tell them, well, what you will see is when you open the list is you will have suppliers in the UK, USA and China. So I don't, compared to some other lists that I've seen out there, they're more focused on the USA and China. Obviously, I'm in the UK, so I need to cater to my homegrown audience as well as people who aren't in the UK. And I give you the option to choose whether you want to use suppliers in the UK or China or the USA. And the reason why I do that as well is because, especially as first-time business owners, sometimes financially the budget to purchase stock can be limited for various different reasons. And it's more cost effective sometimes to use a supplier in China than it is to use a supplier in the UK.
Crazy, isn't it?
I explain as well in the book that if the shipping fees are too much, then there are alternatives such as freight companies, which they can just basically put your products on kind of like a cargo, and it comes over via boat, via plane, depends which way, and you but for a cheaper shipping fee. So there's all different methods you can use, but in our list you will get supplies for the UK, USA and China. We are in the process of rejigging the books. We do refresh our books every 3 months because things change. People's contact details change as well. But I think due to the economy right now, from what I'm hearing, supplier-wise and through people who have their businesses, it seems that products that are coming from the US and not so much China, but outside of the UK completely, there seems to be a lot of delays. So that's another thing that people who are starting businesses now need to consider. Yes, I give you the option to use suppliers outside of the UK, and yes, they are cheaper, but there are things going on right now in the economy that we just can't control. Consideration.
No, I like that. And I think you're right when you speak about a new business in the UK. It's always better to take baby steps, because you need to know the quality of it, like quality control when it comes in. And the further it is, the harder it is for you to get it. And then if somebody, you know, has ordered a product, and then that's already your reviews start going a bit squiff. Trustpilot, you know, people are like, they just like to complain about everything. So you want to give them the best. Like it was a day later than the date, you know, like, guys, come on, breathe.
I'm kind of that person sometimes.
So funny. But you know, like if it's your own business, you're freaked out because you're like, I did everything I could to get it to you, but because out of your control, as you said, you want to make sure that if it's in your hand, you only have to maybe drive and collect it, then you know that you've got it in your hand and you can send it or deliver it or whatever. And because, as you said, the media, everything is accessible. People can speak very quickly about their experience, and that is everything. And I'm quite crazy with my reviews. I go and look at what everyone's saying, and then I have to go, is it a real review, or are they, do I feel it's genuine? Because another thing that's going on. And then when I go with that, then I'll go down that direction or order something, you know. So all of the things in the business, getting all the right people to help you along the way. So when you do launch, you feel secure. You've done everything you're supposed to do to get there, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think this is the thing. When you're launching a business, it is stressful, but you need a plan and you need as much help as you can get. And I think this is the thing that we kind of do when we start businesses. We're trying to do everything ourselves. And where you can get help, you need to utilize it. And once again, this is where Crown Connective comes in, because we are helping you take the time away from, you know, sourcing, you know, the suppliers and the manufacturers and the wholesalers. So it really is about, you know, launching this business, but kind of being savvy with your time. So, yeah.
And then I know that you're a business owner. You know, obviously business owners of Crown Connective, and you also had a business. Do you do like coaching? Do you help people on separate to the vendor? I feel that from you, that someone will go, oh, Nicky, I've got this great idea, and you go, and you walk them through the whole process. Do you do that?
Do you know what?
And if you don't, you should.
No.
I see that. I just feel it. I feel it's what they do. They phone you and you give them the list, and they're like, but how do I do this? And you're like, no, it's in the list. I wrote it down.
I'm not coaching yet, but anytime anyone speaks to me, everyone's saying that I need to coach.
You do.
I will get there, but I think Crown Connective is my baby, and we aren't one, you know, we haven't hit the 1 year yet, and there's so many other little bits and pieces that we are implementing, that we're working on. I just kind of want to perfect this as much as I can, and then go down that route. But for now, if you know me, or if you want to talk to me, my coaching services are free temporarily.
No, I see it. You know, it's just me forward thinking. I see that as an extension of what you're doing. It's almost like it comes to life, isn't it? The ideas of your books will be something that you'll be able to present or share with them, because you've walked the journey. You know, there's nothing more better than somebody that's had that experience, who's owned a business and can see when things have been good and bad. You can feel it. You feel your way around it. So having your vendor list, you're actually going one step further, because I feel that connection, that you're quite, you know, caring and you want to help. So coaching is exactly that, isn't it? It's just kind of going, go on, you can do it. And I can see. So with obviously Crown Connective, then you had a business. What do you think is important to have in a mindset to even want to start a business? A lot of people have ideas, and a lot of fear is why people don't move forward. Fear is one of the hardest things that can just hold on to you, and you almost talk yourself out before you even started. Now, the great thing about what's happening this season is people have really realized how precious life is. And they're like, all the things that I think I wanted to do, actually, I want to try and do it. But still, I'm a bit scared. So what kind of mindset do you need to have? What made you go, right, I'm going to create my jewelry business, I'm going to do Crown Connective? Yes, it was to help. But what really gave you that strength? Because it's not easy. People don't realize there's lots of people listening that want to do something, but they just wouldn't know where to start and really to get their mind ready for it.
I think ultimately it goes back to what I mentioned earlier on. You need to find your purpose. And when I say that, you need to say to yourself, what is it that I enjoy doing? What is it that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life? Okay? Even if it's, I don't know, playing, video games or something, why don't you think about, can I code? Can I put out, can I create a video game? Or you want to sit down, pen to paper, and think about what are your interests. I think too many of us are saying, I want to do this, but I'm scared. Or I want to do this, but what if I fail? Or, let me just stick to the 9 to 5 or being employed because of safety. Yeah. Everything in life is a risk. And, I think we really need to kind of think about what our passions are and just do it.
Yeah.
There's going to be fear. It is what it is. But you really have to have that mindset of, one, knowing what you want out of life, knowing what you enjoy doing, and then pursue it. It doesn't matter how crazy or outlandish it sounds, there will always be a room in the industry for your passions and your interests, and you can turn your passions and your interests into money. And it's a fact.
Absolutely.
So I think ultimately for me is finding what your interests are, what your purpose is, and you just then need to run with it.
No, I like that. I think, you know, I've had these conversations, especially in this season. People have been searching, haven't they, for various things. And they'll go, oh, Rene, well, you do music, you know. It's not, I just so happen to have a gift. I'm very grateful for that. But I always say to everybody, there's things about, it might be a physical that you want to do as a business, as in a product, okay. But a lot of the time, it's something that either gets you really happy or actually frustrates you, is something that you should do, if that makes any sense. So something, I call it your bliss, is something you just can't do without. So some people are into shoes. They absolutely, I mean, enough already. You don't need to buy any more. But there could be something in that, you know, bags. There could be something in that, makeup. And then there could be something in somebody wanting to help or change something because of injustice, or they feel really frustrated about, I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't do that. That could be something that you could do. Because people always look at the tangible, don't they? The physical, yes, or a gift, or I'm a basketball player, or I've got this. No, sometimes it's just things that actually really get you going, is something you should do. And you don't realize it's moving that over, am I right, into something.
Yeah, it is, because it could even be that, you know, your passion is, it could just, things like, you know, charitable passions, or let's just say domestic abuse or something like that. You could set up a charity, or, you know, set up some kind of an online hub to do mentoring or to help people, vulnerable people. There are so many ways that you can literally utilize and create things that you are interested in. Or if you see something out there that you want to change, do it, you know. And even like obviously with yourself with the music, if you love music, you could even think about, okay, I could do, you know, online music coaching, you know, vocal training to people, freelancing your vocals. There's just so many ways to utilize your talents. Like anyone can do it. And I think we live in such a digital age. Money is so easily at our hands. We need to become creative, and we need to not be scared. Like, don't make yourself small.
Yeah, I love that. And what would you do? Any type of like exercises? Because I remember being around people who are successful in business. There's things that they used to do, mantras they call it. You know, how they wake up, they meditate, or certain books that they would read, or just like you've just said, how do you get, it's mind mapping that, whatever it is, all the things that you think you're good at on paper, to know, okay, I love to do, I don't know, public speaking. Some people are very out there and out vocal. Some people are introvert, but yet they're very good at counseling. How do you get out what's in you? Because we're very blessed that we know what our passions are. Some people have got it right in your face, but some people, they need coaching or mechanisms to kind of pull it out of them, because a lot of times people will see it in you, but you don't see it in yourself.
I think one thing that we all need to do is well, for me anyway, a visual mind map. So visual mind mapping is essential, because it can help you determine what you want to do. It can help you foresee where you want your business to be in the next 90 days, your goals, your targets, your objectives, etc. But I feel that if you're out there and you are stuck and you just aren't sure about what it is you should be doing, or what it is you want to do, I think one thing that people need to start, you know, possibly looking into is finding mentors.
Yes.
And not asking family and friends. I think the worst, in my opinion, maybe harsh, but the worst thing you could do is ask family and friends who aren't self-employed, who aren't entrepreneurs. You're just going to give me your opinion, and you giving me your opinion, it could be your opinion to not hurt my feelings, or it could be your opinion because you're jealous of me. It could be so many versions of your opinion. So in my opinion, if you are wanting to become self-employed and you don't know what it is you want to do, you need to find a mentor. and speak to them and ask them, how did they find, you know, specifically what it is that they wanted to do, and find out, you know, information about business. You need to speak to someone who is doing what, well, not necessarily what you're doing, but comes from the field or comes from that entrepreneurial background. Just don't ask family and friends, because honestly, they aren't the right people to ask.
They're not qualified. And I'm sorry, you know, we come from a Caribbean African background.
Yes.
You know, they'll go, what? No, you can't. It sounds awful, but some will encourage. And there's a lot of people, I'm grateful that I've had a blessing. But there'll be someone will go, oh, no, what are you doing that for? No, you just have yourself a day job. And they'll literally shift and put doubt in your mind. And as you said, they've never done it before either.
Yes.
What gives them, not saying that they can't have an opinion, but where do they get that valid opinion from? What's it, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like, for me, that's the thing with me. I'm very much like, I don't ask anyone their opinion. I listen to my gut. I listen to my feelings, and I'm very spiritually inclined as well, and I run with it. I don't need anyone's opinion. I don't ask anyone what I should be doing. I do what I need to do, and luckily enough, it's been great. So I just feel like you need to really surround yourself with like-minded people, and you need to seek advice from those people as well. And if you are stuck, if you really want to be self-employed and you just don't know where to start, you need to seek a mentor so that you can seek counsel from them and help from them, so that you can identify what it is that your purpose is and what you should be doing.
And it's funny you say that, because why are you reinventing the wheel to find somebody that doesn't know, as we said, family and friends, but yet there's people that have got a track record of success. They're gonna fast track you, aren't they? They're gonna give you all the information, like what you're doing with your business. You've given them a black book of vendors and manufacturers, but people are gonna say to you, right? And they can see what I think is quite incredible. People can see in you what you can't see in yourself, because we can't have that separation. And some of the most incredible minds and successful people in various facets of his industry have had mentors, life coaches. And people almost feel like it's making them weak because they're having somebody by their side, but nobody is able to do it on their own. You've got to have somebody that's going to give you the advice and tell you, no, stop, and the reasons behind it. And you actually will respect their opinion, because guess what? They've built the business already.
Yeah, most definitely. You need to speak to like-minded people. You need to surround yourself with like-minded people. And ultimately, you need to start to step out of your comfort zone. And I think this is a thing where it goes back to, you know, do you want to be self-employed or do you not want to be self-employed? Because we are so comfortable with what we know. We are so comfortable with our safety nets of our employed jobs and stuff like that. But I think the pandemic has really showed you that comfortability is a myth.
Absolutely. Because they just said to you, well, by the way, bye. That was it. You've given them 15, 20 years or whatever of your life, and they just went into the annual accounts and thought, is that? What's that bit there? Oh, no, we need to get rid of that. Or sadly, some people on furlough, they never end up going back again. And I think it's been a culture shock for everyone to realize in this season, because of the pandemic, we have no control anyway. We've been locked up, can't do this. But in working for a company, and as I said, nothing wrong with that, it's still shown you that you're out of control. So why not have that, but also in the background, always have something that you're trying to income stream. So you kind of got that balance. That's the encouragement I give to others.
We need that balance. And I always say that you need to, in my mind, have 3 different streams of income. And that's just my opinion. You need that employed income. Don't start your business and be like, oh, I've started my business, bye. No.
Bye. Tell the boss how you feel. No.
Keep the job, okay? Because, I don't know, in 6 months' time, let's just say you aren't making enough money. How are you going to replenish your stock? Where is money going to come from? You need to keep your 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, okay? Nope. So you want to make sure that you've got your employed income. You want to make sure that you've got your business, and then you want to make sure you've got another source of income where technically you're making money in your sleep easily. And I speak to so many people around me, and I give them suggestions and ideas of ways that they can make money in their sleep, because I think that's another thing that people are trying to tap into right now as well. How can they create businesses where they aren't physically just, selling a product, and just ways that they can make multiple streams of income. So do not rely on one source of income, because if that employer says to you today, sorry, we don't need you anymore, what are you going to do? At least if you know you've got more than one source of income coming in, if they say to you buy, that's fine. Buy too, because you've got money coming there. So just start. It's the time. It's the time. I think we really need to be a bit stricter with ourselves as well. I feel like there's a lot of distractions out there. I know a lot of people who want to start businesses, but they are a bit distracted. I think we also need to become disciplined in ourselves when we want to become self-employed or become an entrepreneur. It also boils down to discipline.
Yeah, no, I love that. You said quite a lot of things. It's having multiple incomes is really important, because you're at literally the grace of whoever it is, the company you're working for. Having a business that is actually working in the background, you hear a lot of very successful people saying they're making money literally as they're sleeping. They've set it up and it's just turning in the background. And it gives you that sense of security. But what I loved what you said is about discipline. In order to have anything, you've got to be structured and disciplined. And everyone has little bits about them. Like some things I can be very focused and different, but sometimes I can be distracted. I'm creative. I just go off and in the air somewhere. That happens with me because the creative juices sometimes gets a bit explosive. But in the midst of it, you've got to then bring yourself back and go, oh, keep focused, keep disciplined. But there's times where sacrifice has been made where it could be boiling hot outside, but I'm in the studio recording. I'm not listening to what's going on. I'm not going to that party because I've got to get it done. Yes. Or someone goes, oh, Rene, could you come here? And I'm like, well, no, I can't because I need to do this or plan what we're doing for the Who Am I talk. So there's going to be so many sacrifices that you're going to make. And you are working around the clock at times. And people don't see that. As I said, they see the end result, the accolade, the BAFTA, when you've won awards for businesses and your business is now turning over millions. All what you had to do in the background to get it there was sacrifice. So adding on to discipline is a huge sacrifice that you've got to have.
Yeah,
am I right?
You have to sacrifice a lot. And it can be a bit lonely sometimes. It's kind of like you're sacrificing, but then you have to think about where it is you want to be ultimately, because this life is short. And you don't want to get to an age where you say to yourself, if only I had done such and such, or I should have stopped wasting my time, doing this and doing that, because maybe if I had invested more time and money into myself than I was going out, maybe I would have achieved my dreams and my goals. You don't want to get to the age where you're thinking about what ifs or feeling regrets. So you have to be disciplined. You have to be structured. And you need to get to that point where you need to slightly be selfish, because at the end of the day, you need to be focused on yourself.
That's correct.
And focus on your goals. So discipline is essential, and sacrifice is something that comes with, being self-employed, being an entrepreneur. You have to sacrifice your time. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your social life. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your love life. There are many sacrifices that comes with this, but you have to think about, is it worth it? Think about your goals in the long run. Think about all the things that you want to do. And if you really want it that bad, you will make any sacrifice. You will not let anything or anyone get in your way.
And I love that. You speak about, and this is what people don't realize, what you've had to lose to gain, I call it.
Yes.
And a lot of people want the end result, but they don't want the work that goes into it. Working around the clock. Obviously, if you're more structured, you don't have to do everything. But there is times you've got to get something out, or you've got to ship something, say it's a product, or you've got to rehearse or read a script before you go and do a performance. So a lot of things happen at night time when it's quieter. There's no one ringing you and disturbances.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't see that. It's only when they tell, they release their author book or the film about their life story, and you're like, wow, you have to do that. Yeah. And many people, and I love when you spoke about the fact that you have a job alongside, that's not, I'm in the music industry, but there's other things that I wear outside of music.
Mm.
And if I didn't, I'm telling you this, and if I just did music, I'd be somewhere in the ditch because no one's making any money. Let's get that real. In this season, singers, entertainers, they just shut it down. So I am so grateful that in this season, because I have other income streams, I was able to still function, still pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking that for granted at all. So I love that you said that, because a lot of people frown upon the 9 to 5. Oh no, I want to have a business. No, you can have that. But actually the smart ones have that along the side, and it's your website, your stock, as you said, anything you want to do. If you need to go somewhere to meet somebody, you got to have money to go do that and have those negotiation deal meetings and things. So you said some key real nuggets there. Love that.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So you say you've got some new books coming. So you're going to, so I've seen what you do. You've got bags, retail, packaging. Did this happen because people cried out for it, or did you just kind of look at the market and say, oh, we need to add this to our collection?
I looked at the market. So I was really doing my research on Google Trends. So that showed me what was actually being searched the most in Google. So that's my little cheek.
Giving another nugget, guys.
I know.
It's really clever, yeah.
So
what people wanting to talk, well, what do they want? Interesting.
I could see exactly what was being searched the most throughout the pandemic on Google Trends. I could see like people were searching things like eyelashes, false eyelashes, eyelash business. So I could already gauge statistically what books needed to be created off the back of that.
That makes a lot of sense. I love that.
But now I'm getting people come up to me or email me or DM me saying, I need suppliers for XYZ. And then I'm giving the information for free, because I don't have the book at the moment, so I don't mind, because that's the type of person I am. I help. But I'm starting to see that there is a trend in a particular industry at the moment that needs a book. And I'm going to create a book. I actually had someone ask me about the same industry yesterday. I went to a networking event and they were just like, I love your business. You don't have my book, but I need you to create something. And I said, I am going to go down that route, because you're the second person now who in this field is asking me, we need supplies for this industry. So, and know that there is a demand for different industries out there. So I'm looking to introduce a few more books and a few different things as well coming. But it's just mainly about perfecting what we have at the moment. But yeah, there will be some more books for different niches at the moment.
And ladies and gentlemen, in order to know what these niches are, you need to connect with Crown Connect. That's basically it. Because if you then, because a lot of the time, a lot of people's also, they feel they can find out, and it's almost the trust, and they'll just go round and round. Go to people that have already done the work. Yes. A lot of us try to, and everyone can be guilty. We try and self-diagnose, we try and get things ourselves. But why? I'm all about fast track. Speak to people that have already done it. Yeah. Speak to people and because they've already done it. Deliveroo and Just Eat. Hello, what did they do? Did Just Eat go or Just Eat went, or no, Deliveroo went, oh, Just Eat's done what we've done. Yes, not reinventing the wheel. So a lot of the time we always tend to think we want to be the only ones that do it. No, you have your unique spin. Am I right?
The thing is,
go to who?
I'm not the only one that does vendor lists, but I honestly am the only one that, I do what I do. And I know I do what I do at a high quality and a high standard. Yeah. And I think there's room in the market for everyone. You just need to identify how can you do it better. Yeah. Even if you say that you want to create bread, I know it sounds silly, but there are various different brands of loaves in the supermarket.
Already, yeah.
You don't see Hovis saying, oh, I didn't want to launch because Kingsmill was out there. You need to identify how can you make it look, taste better. How can you be better?
I like that. And you've just given another nugget. Don't reinvent the wheel. I've got this thing. A lot of people, like in my world, you listen to the best singers in the world. You listen to Whitney, you listen to Gladys. You don't try and listen to anyone that doesn't sound remotely like legendary. That's how you become the best singer, right? If you want to be the best, you look at the model. Okay, you don't want to take their intellectual property, I get that. But they've already done it. So what you do is recreate it, but just it's got the Nicky test, it's got the Rene test on it. And that is it. And that's a lot of people always say, oh no, I want to be the only one, the first person. Absolutely not.
No. And I think as well, when people start businesses to be the only one, that's where it's like, we have to then go back to the beginning as to why are you starting this business? Because are you starting this business to say that you have a business, or are you starting this business to be of service, to benefit people? Because if you are benefiting and are of service, you wouldn't be concerned about who else is your competition. You need to focus on you and how you can be the best you can be and be the best brand that you can be. Yes, there are going to be many people popping up in the same niche as you, but you just need to stay ahead of the race. You need to have a creative mind. You need to keep on reinventing yourself. And this is the thing, brands can't stay the same. So yes, you see Crown Connective doing Vendor this now, but in 5 years' time, we would have grown, we would have adapted. And you need to think about, if this is a business that I'm going to launch, how can the business grow? Don't create something that doesn't really have that much scope and room to grow. Your business ultimately needs to move with the times, needs to move with the trends, and it needs to grow.
I love that. Another nugget, guys. You're just giving away the nuggets, Nicky. No, I think it's phenomenal what you're saying. It's people, as I said, they don't realize what goes into this. But don't be scared because of what goes into this. As I said, that not reinventing the wheel and looking at the great achievers and taking bits of what they've done, because they've already done it. You know, I have no doubt someone's coming to try and take over Amazon. Oh yes, someone's coming. Yeah. We don't know who it is, but someone's going to, because they're going to look at that model and go, I can do that. But they're just going to give it a whole new spin.
And you know, this is the thing that goes back to sometimes when people are doing businesses and they're like, oh my God, someone's copying me. Okay, yeah, they're copying you, but there are technicalities with the copying. Someone may take that Amazon module. All they need to do is do 5 changes, and that's theirs.
That's correct.
It's the legality of it. So yes, there will be somebody else coming out there doing a similar thing to Amazon. And yes, there's probably going to be somebody else doing a similar thing to me. But ultimately, individually, collectively, as business owners, we need to focus on ourselves and focus on protecting and perfecting the brand and how we can be the best and stand out the most.
Love that, Nicky. Wow. So we've had some nuggets, guys. And how can they connect with you? There's going to be loads of people that are watching as we speak and going to watch back. How can they connect with you? What's your website? How does it work? Do they just buy direct? Can they subscribe to a membership? How does it work?
So we aren't doing memberships at the moment, but I am going to be doing that soon.
I can imagine.
At the moment, if you want to contact me, you can contact me via Instagram at Crown Connective. And on our Instagram, you can head over to the website, which is in the bio, and just have a look at the vendor list that's available. We've got some business resources and just some information about the business. If you want to shoot me a message, that's fine. Send me a DM. Or also you can send me an email, and that is at info@crownconnective.co.uk. So yeah, just ultimately just shoot me up a DM and I will respond. So yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, now you've got the resource. There's no excuse. Whatever your ideas are, whatever product you've seen and go, oh, I can make it, go and do it. You know, connect with Nicky, go to Crown Connective, and she will be able to literally walk you through the process. And you'll be able to just enlighten your dreams. And this is what it's all about. As you said, life is so precious. Don't wait. As you're sitting down, turn off the TV, Netflix, and put your list together and do it now, because a lot of people will get, as you said, distracted.
Yeah, we get distracted, and I think it's a thing as well. Don't put too much pressure on yourself thinking, oh my God, I can't get distracted. we all get distracted, we're all humans. But I think one essential thing that I would encourage people to start doing, whether you're thinking about starting a business or if you are a business owner, is start to take 90 minutes out of your day, every day, and just sit down and mind map and plan and look at your goals and objectives, and also start to create kind of like targets, visual targets of where you need your business to be in the next 12 months financially. You know, look at your marketing and just so many aspects of it, but we need to have visual plans and visual goals, and we actually need to be printing these things out. Like, it could be an A4, A3 bit of paper with January to December, you know, your financial targets, and maybe like a traffic light system. You need to have structure, but just remember it's okay to sometimes fall short, because we all do. We all get distracted. Life happens, burnout happens, but we just need to be serious about what we're doing.
No, I love that. You said, I'm not saying because I watch Netflix when I have my downtime, and it's actually a good time to kind of detune and just, because otherwise you're just going and going. But what I love what you're saying is that you have to write it down. There's a biblical saying, write it down and make it plain. It's as simple as that. You put it in front of you, you see it, it actually manifests because there, you wrote it, you physically did it, you see it, and it goes into your spirit, and you start moving in that direction. So I love that when you spoke about the mind mapping is so powerful.
Mind mapping is powerful, but action, and I think as well, that's another thing, action is powerful as well, because you can mind map all day, but if you don't physically start to do the things you need to do, it's not going to magically happen for you. You know, you need to start getting yourself in action. You can't just be thinking, oh, I'm just going to wait for the universe to bless me, or do. No. You need to move so that you can manifest these goals and these desires and these dreams. So it goes hand in hand.
I love that. So mind mapping, guys, and action. So whatever you've wrote down, you then start making sure you do it. And as you said, it's 90 minutes. A lot of people, as I said, the pressure, got other things going on, family, children, just take some time out. And as you said, don't put the pressure if you don't put it in, because, you know, things happen. But all these steps, getting your vendor list, connecting with Nicky, doing your mind mapping, and then making some action plans. Let's see what happens in 6 months. A lot can happen and change. Am I right, Nicky?
A lot can happen, you know, a lot can happen in 3 months. I've seen it. A lot can happen in 3 months, a lot can happen in 6 months, a lot can happen if you ultimately take action.
I love that.
So it's really down to you. Your future, your dreams, your everything lies in your hands, and your actions and your choices ultimately. We have choices, so you need to make the correct choices, the right choices for you and your business and your life in general. But anything, you just have to move.
No, you're completely correct. It's been such a lovely time. You've given the audience such gems. And, you know, what's even more exciting, the takeaways that they connect with you. You're going to give them even more gems in all the different resources and just how to go about it. Because I think it's one of the things, a lot of people have ideas, and you're right, they'll mind map, but it's just navigating the terrain of how to move it, because that can be really off-putting and can be kind of demoralizing. So the fact you've set that up to help, that is fantastic. So really excited for you. And I can only imagine what's going to be happening in 3 months to 6 months in your business. It's definitely going to be wow.
There's some things coming.
I'm sure. Oh, it's fantastic. And you're a queen. I'm very inspired. Keep empowering people, because that's what we do. And I wish you nothing but success in what you're doing right now. So God bless you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And have a fantastic rest of the week, okay? It's getting warmer as well, which makes you feel better, huh? This weather was just... Well, it was nice today. When I looked out, it looked sunny. It wasn't, I'm going to say warmer. There's sunny outside. So I'm hoping, because it's been raining, then it's hot. So I'm hoping we're going to get something happening in August. We've got to only have positivity about it. So
I'm trying to be positive, but I'm just so over it right now.
No, I want it to get warm. We're going to put it out there. It's going to get hot. And then we can just, because it's so important. It actually helps lift your mood and all the rest of it.
Yeah, it does. And that's another thing as well. I like to just go out and just as I say, grounding, but just being at one with nature, breathing in as much of the fresh air that I can get. So yeah, just get out there and really enjoy yourself. But yeah, if you want to start a business and you need to get the connects, you need to come to Crown Connective. So
definitely. And you take care, Queen. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll definitely catch up, hopefully at some point. Well, I'm getting out little by little, get in the flesh and have a coffee, a cup of tea, or something even nicer, sparkles, okay? Can't wait to see you. God bless you. Take care. Bye, Nikki.
Bye.
Bye.